Hi there villagers, today we are making something from the traditional BeRo Home Recipes Cookbook. Mine's the newer one, but I learnt to cook from the one my mum has, which is exactly the same, just the older version. Today we are making coffee kisses, which in my book is page 18. They are little biscuits sandwiched together with coffee flavoured buttercream. So here we go. Very straightforward. 175 grams of flour, self-raising. $75 grams of sugar. $75 grams of cooking margarine. That bit. Then we're going to rub in and then add the egg and the coffee. So rub in and magic. Breadcrumbs, or at least what resembles breadcrumbs. And now we're going to make the coffee mixture. So come with me to the kettle. 2 teaspoons. Because that was noisy, that was 2 teaspoons of instant coffee dissolved into 1 tablespoon of hot boiling water, which makes a sort of coffee slurry. So this is where you would use coffee essence, if that's a thing where you live, in the same way you would peppermint essence or vanilla extract or any of those sorts of flavours. So make sure you give it a good stir so that it is genuinely dissolved everywhere. Quick stir and then back to the other mix. So while that's cooling a little bit, we're going to add 1 egg. And coffee extract. And give it a mix. I've never made these before, despite the fact that they are in the book that I grew up making things out of. But I'm sure I've had them, which probably means Mum must have made them. Okay, it is not enough liquid. vaguely coming together. I think I'm going to add a little bit of the hot water. Just the tiniest little bit to help stick it together. We're then going to roll them up onto little balls and bake them in the oven for 15 minutes. As you can see, the coffee has obviously changed the colour of the mixture. Try and make sure it's all evenly coloured, otherwise it's going to look a bit speckly. So how are you? At the time of filming, it is the middle of November. We have lots of things to worry about before Christmas. Charlotte's in the school show. She's also doing a show in London with Razzmatazz, so we've got lots of rehearsals going on. She's had mock exams. So it's all a bit go in our house. So we can't worry about till Christmas until all of those things are sorted. So by the 2nd or 3rd week in December, we'll be able to think about Christmas. Right, there you go. See, it's changing the whole colour to a slightly odd shade of brown. So I hope all is well at your house and that you're keeping fit and well. We're not going to get a lot of mixture out of this, to be honest. You probably will want to double up the recipe at least. We have now at least got a mix. You're going to want some flour handy just to have on your hands while you are making little dough balls out of this. Right, and a baking sheet, forgot that bit. So how many you get obviously depends on how big you make your dough balls, and obviously they do need sandwiching together. After they've been cooked. So for every one end result thing that one person will eat, you will need 2 of the little balls and sandwich them together. Make sure you brush your baking sheets well with oil so that everything doesn't stick. Nothing worse than losing lovely shaped baking because it got stuck to the ball, to the baking sheet. So because I've not made these before, I have no idea whether they're going to grow much. They should, because they're made with baking self-raising flour. But we'll see. So we're going for the 2 teaspoon approach. So get some. Actually, I haven't got the flour ready like I told you to. So just a little bit, not even as much as that, a little bit on your hands so that it doesn't stick. So get your first blob with the teaspoon and give it a little roll. Ta-da! I think we can probably get 6 on this baking sheet. And I wouldn't worry too much if they come out slightly uneven once they're baked, because they're going in your mouth and they'll be sandwiched together, so it doesn't really matter what they look like. I'd much rather go for nice tasting things that look a bit funny, rustic as Jamie Oliver calls them, than beautiful things that require engineering scaffolding to hold up, the kind of thing you see on Bake Off but don't actually taste of anything. So according to the recipe we should get 12. Well, at this size I'm definitely going to get 12 They might mean 12 end results though. So that's 6. And I've still got plenty of mixture. Oh, he's a bit big. And then while your balls are baking, I'm going to make the coffee flavoured buttercream icing to stick them together with. You will obviously need to allow them to cool a bit, because if you stick them together too fast, it's just going to melt the buttercream. I tried that once with something else. You have to be patient and let it cool. Don't get too excited. So now we're going to make the buttercream icing. It turns out I don't think I've got enough icing, so I'm going to weigh that first. So according to this, you need 50 grams of butter and 100 grams of icing sugar. And this doesn't look like 100 grams of icing sugar to me, but we'll see. $116, so marvellous, we can actually do the recipe properly. So we will find 100 grams of icing sugar and 50 grams of butter. And then you're going to need to make the coffee mixture again. Here we go. So mix that together, and then we're going to add the coffee. Same procedure as last time. 2 teaspoons of coffee and a tablespoon of hot boiling water. So we're going to pour that in and then mix it all up. So we should end up with very slightly brown buttercream icing. Now we'll go to super speed. And now, using the buttercream icing, we will stick 2 together and then pop them on this plate to dry. Here is the end result. Like giant walnuts. One of my friends and subscribers, Alison, whose husband is currently working in my garden, will be getting 2 of these because I'm going to send them home with him in a minute. So she'll get to watch the videos having eaten the end result, which I think is pretty cool. Here's the recipe.